when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these kids started killing themselves all over my property.
Yeah, this one right here, he dove head first right into the wood chipper.
Hello and welcome to Ycft. This week we're talking about a film which I really like, and I think, did I introduce you to this one during lockdown, was it?
You did. No, it was prior to that. It was when I was just at your house.
Yeah, so it must have been,
really early days, just before lockdown.
Just before lockdown. So we are talking about Tucker and Dale versus Evil, released in 2010, but it was filmed in 2007. This film was shelved for a couple of years.
And we don't know why.
And it still only had a limited release afterwards, so I actually don't know how I came across this one.
No, because it is a famous movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'd watched it
I'd heard of it
around the time that it came out, so I must have acquired it somehow. I think I just assumed that this was a much bigger movie than what it was.
Yeah.
So it's directed by Eli Craig, who is the son of Sally Field.
So weird. Yeah.
Stars Tyler Labine as Dale and Alan Tudyk as Tucker. I think that's what drew me in straight away. Tyler Labine, when this came out a year later, would have been in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I knew him from a short-lived TV series called Reaper. Mm-hmm. Which I like to think there is one point where he stood there with a scythe, and I think that's a reference to Reaper. I couldn't find it in any trivia, but I think that's a reference to Reaper because that show was great. Should have went on for years. Obviously, Alan Tudyk is very well known. He's a very, very famous actor. Mm. I think at the time watching this, I would have known him mostly from Dodgeball as Steve the Pirate.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he was also very well known for Firefly, which I don't think you've seen, have you?
I've not seen it. No, again, I heard of it. Obviously, Knight's Tale.
Oh, Knight's Tale. I think the most recent thing I've seen him in that I love was Resident Alien, which is he's really funny in that, where he plays an alien that's disguising himself as a human. Mm-hmm. And he voiced K2SO in Rogue One.
Yeah, I did not realise how prolific a voice actor Alan Tudyk actually was. I was more familiar with him, as a comedic actor. I did not realise how many times he's lent his voice to stuff. He is really talented.
He's a busy guy.
He's a very busy man. Yeah, he's great.
And those two have such a great chemistry.
Oh, they do.
In this film. And apparently behind the scenes they had a really good chemistry, just together. And I think they got together before filming, to run things over, and it just felt so natural for them. So they play these two hillbilly friends who have bought this summer house.
In West Virginia.
So
in the Appalachian Mountains.
I'm glad you take notes. I wouldn't have remembered any of that. So they're going there to fix it up. And
it's a doer-upper.
It's a doer-upper, and when you see this place, it
needs doing up.
It's basically a kill house. It is absolutely a cabin from some sort of horror movie.
It's the cabin, yeah.
It's got traps in it. It's got newspaper clippings.
It's got nails hanging out of the walls. Yeah.
But these two guys, they're so innocent. Dale especially is extremely innocent. So they're just happy to own some property. They want to make They want to make this place somewhere nice for them to go fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like that. It's a nice humble story, but instantly makes them likeable. So we have our other cast of characters who are the college kids.
Yes.
And do we have a couple of the characters there?
Yeah, we've got Chad. What
a name!
What? Oh God! If there's a character you want to die in a horror movie, it's Chad.
Turned up collar.
Don't even get me started on it. Can't stand it. We'll talk about that later. We've got Alison, who is played by Katrina Bowden. Chad has a little thing for Alison. And then the only other one I've got written down is Chloe, who is played by, I don't know how you pronounce her name really, Chaylin Simmons, who appeared in the third Final Destination movie.
Didn't Chad also appear in the third Final Destination?
He was also in the third Final Destination, a small part. He plays, oh God, what's her name? Ewan McGregor's now wife. Yeah, she's the main character, and he plays her boyfriend, and he dies on the roller coaster at the beginning. But Shaylin Simmons, very well known in horror because yes, Final Destination. She appeared in a couple of others, but she was also appeared as a little girl in It, the original.
Oh no way!
The Tim Curry one. Yeah, she's the very first kill.
You kept that bit of trivia quiet.
She's the little girl, and the mum's putting the stuff on the washing line, and she's on a little tricycle.
No.
That's her, yeah. So she's always, her beginnings are in horror.
I suppose the other side characters, they don't really matter. They're just bonds.
No, we don't, no. No, I did not bother writing them down.
They are going to the similar area to do the typical college kids in horror thing. They're going to go camping, they're going to go drink, all that fun stuff.
Do sexy things.
They do sexy things.
Yeah.
They encounter Tucker and Dale at a gas station. And I really like how we flip back and forth on it. We see their, like, essentially their point of view of these, like, two hillbillies kind of just looking odd at these strangers. You know, the place is dark, it's a little bit dirty. Allison comes across Dale, who's, like, picking up some pickled eggs.
Yeah.
And you get looks creepy.
Pickled eggs, just staring at Allison.
Yeah. And then we cut to Tucker and Dale, and, you know, he's nervous around pretty girls. Dale, he doesn't know how to be. He's a kind soul. He's a nervous soul. And Tucker comes, you need to stand up for yourself. You know, you're a nice guy. So he goes over to try and talk to him. That's when he brings the scythe. And he's like, just smile, laugh a bit. He just does this nervous laugh and just freaks them out.
You guys, going camping?
Hey, now look, we don't want any trouble, all right? So just back off.
Oh.
When I first watched it, I know I'm going to love this film.
Yeah, I know.
It balances the comedy so well.
It's wonderful. Like, seeing it from both sides, like, both point of views. Because, obviously, again, I mentioned West Virginia because this is literally wrong turn territory. Yeah. West Virginia. I think it's also the Appalachian Mountains where that movie was set, which would have come out a few years before. So, we are in, like, hillbilly county, guys. So, yeah.
Well, we find out Chad knows a dark story related to hillbillies. So he has a particular disliking towards them. And his parents went camping and they were attacked by some hillbillies. His mother was tortured. His dad's body was never found. And he's just kind of hated them ever since.
Yes.
Just don't know why he chooses to go camping in hillbilly territory.
Yeah,
but
exactly, yeah.
He's a very dislikable character from the offset.
He's creepy.
Only one person lived to tell this story. The rest of them just disappeared. And their bodies are buried beneath us.
I really like how it flips the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Making the college kids kind of the ones that are kind of unlikable.
Yeah.
And having Tucker and Dale, the hillbillies, be these nice guys that, they're just wanting to go do some work.
They just want to go to their little holiday cabin,
Yeah.
Do some fishing.
And I just love how oblivious they are to the fact that this place, people have definitely died in this cabin.
Yeah.
Because a cop does pull them over for having a busted tail light.
Yeah.
And kind of warns them, nothing good's going to happen if you're going to go up there.
There ain't nothing up there but pain and suffering on a scale you can't even imagine.
I pulled you over because you got a broken turn signal.
Oh, yes, sir.
What kind of kickstarts the movie after that? So obviously the college kids were already a bit nervous after seeing Tucker and Dale at the gas station. They decided to go skinny dipping while Tucker and Dale have gone night fishing.
Yes.
Which I'm assuming night fishing must be a thing. Must be a thing. It's kind of revealed later on that Dale doesn't like fishing. He only goes because Tucker likes it.
Which breaks
Absolutely breaks his heart.
Yeah, I love that scene.
I really like that scene.
What do you mean you don't like fishing?
And so they kind of catch glimpses of them doing this, and Allison sees them and slips on a rock and hits her head.
Yes.
So Dale jumps into the water and, saves her.
Hey, we got your friend.
We got your friend. Again, I love how you can see both sides of it. They just saved her. They're trying to tell him, look, we've got your friend here.
They've kidnapped Allison.
Yeah, and they run off. It's...
You can see the confusion, right?
Yeah.
No.
Ah, we got your friend!
Oh, God! They got Allison!
But it's the whole thing is based on stereotypes. More from the kids' side than Tucker and Dale's side. Like, Tucker and Dale just think the kids are really bad friends and also kind of useless. So, like, well, why did they just run away? Like, do they not care about her?
Yeah.
Got your friend! Why the hell are they running away? Hey!
No matter, Tucker, we gotta get him back to the cabin. Come on.
But obviously, the college kids are like, oh my god, two hillbillies have got our half-naked friend.
Well, they try, like, Dale tries to resuscitate her, and they're like, oh my god, he's eating her face. I mean, it's dark.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They're probably also quite drunk at this point as well.
We got your friend.
We got your friend. Yeah, no. Why did they just run off?
Yeah, the whole film is just, don't judge a book by its colour.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
It's followed almost instantly by one of my favourite scenes in the movie, and I'm pretty sure this was in the trailer, where she wakes up. So yeah, dressed her in some nice dry clothes. She's got a bandage on. She's a bit scared, and he walks in with a tray and starts screaming. He goes, pancakes! You hate pancakes! I'll go make you something else.
I'm so sorry.
It's the pancakes. You hate pancakes. I'm gonna make you something else. I'll just... Pancakes, you bastard. You like pancakes? Big fist, stupid idiot.
Alice obviously very quickly warms to Dale, especially.
Yes, she sees right away.
He's just a big teddy bear.
He's a gentle giant. Yeah. Basically.
And starts playing board games with him. I think Tucker starts getting a bit annoyed at Dale because he's trying to work around there, and Dale's obviously
getting distracted.
Getting a bit distracted. But he lets him get on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the first time he's been able to talk to a girl.
Yeah.
In ages.
Yeah, and they have a very sweet conversation. I really liked that because Alison is studying psychology. That's what she wants to major in, or is majoring in, or something. And then Dale says, like, I'm not clever enough to ever get to uni or college. And she says something along the lines of, education is very different from intellect.
I barely even made it past the third grade.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything. Hey, there's a difference between education and intellect.
Like, one is not reliant on the other, and it's like you're smart
he's got
in other ways.
Photographic memory.
Yeah,
he remembers
retains
things,
everything, doesn't he? And it's like useless bits of information just kind of hovering in his brain. But it's a nice little sweet moment.
Yeah,
between them.
I like. She's very nice too. I think she realizes very quickly, like, this man's not going to harm me in any way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think she kind of realizes that there's definitely been a misunderstanding.
She realizes they've rescued her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's not prisoner. Like, they're not, obviously they're not holding her down. Like, she's free to roam in and outside of the cabin. And yeah, it's just, yeah, she sees that from the off.
What I like is she then decides to help with work. Essentially waiting for her friends to come around.
Yeah.
And she grew up on a farm, so she's used to doing farm work. It just helps Dale dig a shit hole.
Yeah, shit hole.
Big hole for the outhouse.
Yeah.
Her friends see this and think, oh my god, they're making her dig her own grave.
He's making her dig her own grave.
We don't have much time. Does everybody have their weapons?
Yeah.
And that kind of kickstarts a series of unfortunate events.
Yes, a very unfortunate series.
Chad decides to rally them and say, we have to go save her. This is the opportunity he's been waiting for. He can kill some hillbillies.
Yeah. He has a very violent streak in him.
A very, very violent streak. And he's got his axe. Loves his axe.
And he's got his turned up collar. He's ready to go.
Yeah. When you first watched this, when you saw that wood chipper, did you think that was going to come back into
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can't have something like that in a movie and for it to not, feature in a kill somewhere.
Well, the first kill is one I really, really like.
The bees.
So it's like, yeah. So it's one that, I'm just going to call him Emo Lad.
Yeah.
I did dress very similar to him when I was younger.
This guy's David
So,
as a teen.
Yeah, we'll move past that. Tucker he's cutting up some wood with a chainsaw and he hits a beehive.
Yeah.
So the swarm of bees attack him. So he's like running around with chainsaw. It's actually going to be a parody of the chainsaw dance from Texas Chainsaw.
There's loads of references here.
Absolutely loads of them. So this kid sees it. All he sees initially is this guy with a chainsaw swinging it around, screaming and chasing after him. So he runs as well away. You get this really cool moment where him and Tucker are side by side, and he's kind of like, why doesn't he chase me? Like,
yeah,
you can see without any dialogue, you can kind of see he's like, what? And Tucker's like, huh?
Yeah.
And he runs into a tree branch.
Yeah.
And a bee just lands on his nose, and in that brief moment before he dies, he clocks what has happened.
I done fucked up.
Very, very well done.
It's very well done. Yeah, there's just that moment of like, why is he running next to me? Not after. He's not chasing me. Yeah, too late. It's such a great moment. And obviously Tucker, he's still being chased by the bees, so he doesn't realise what's happened.
I saw your friend out there. He must be allergic to bees or something because he was running like a bat out of hell. Oh.
At this point, he just keeps running off into the distance. But yeah, that's one teen down.
Yeah. they decide, obviously the teens see what has happened, and they're like, right, we have to full on attack now. And this whole scene is brilliant. So you've got one of them who has a spear, decides to attack Dale. Allison sees one of them run towards him, kind of like before she has a chance to say anything. Dale turns around, knocks her out with a shovel. That's the second time she's been knocked out in this movie.
She keeps getting knocked out, yeah.
Yeah. He then trips, hits into Dale. They both fall in, and the guy impales himself on his own spear.
Yes.
And he's just like, oh my
Oh my God.
oh my god. The next is the most iconic moment from this whole movie, I think, where he tries to sneak up on Tucker, trips over and just goes head first into the wood chipper.
Yeah. And Tucker tries to, like, pull him out.
He tries.
Got hold of the legs, like,
He
oh
tries
my
to save him. It's incredible. It's afterwards when they do get him out, and I think this was improvised on the day where they had, I think it's Dale who's on the floor and like, all right, we'll pull the legs over you. So they're like, blah.
Yeah.
He's like, it's damn kids killing themselves all over my property.
Well, it's like Tucker and Dale, they reconvene, I think, in the cabin at some point. Because, like, 3 kids are dead now at this stage. And Tucker's like, I know what this is. It's a suicide pact. Like, that's the only logical conclusion.
They think that they've come to kill Allison as part of this fucked up pact.
It's a suicide pact.
One of the college kids had left to go get the police. So it's the same policeman from earlier. You chuckling at this.
We've had a doozy of a day.
Sir, we've had one doozy of a day. And they explain, he's like, do you really think I'm going to believe this?
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, officer. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
We have had a doozy of a day.
A real doozy.
To be fair, he does.
He gives them the benefit of the doubt.
He does give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He realizes that they're like, they're not bad guys.
No.
However, one of the old traps from the cabin sets off and basically impales nails through his head. So then all the college kids see, a few of them are just blocking the police car at this point. They see him go into this cabin and come out with this
nails just in and out of his face.
Oh shit! Come on! What is going on? How's he even walking right now, Tuck?
He looks like he's gonna walk it off. He's gonna be fine.
Okay, I think it gets like, oh, it's okay. He's
walk it off.
He's
gonna walk it off. Another one of the college kids then takes his gun, goes to try and shoot him. It doesn't fire. Dale's being too nice. Oh, you've got to
take the safety off.
You got to take the safety off, and shoots himself in the head. And Tucker's like, you got to take the safety off. It's just full on carnage.
It absolutely is carnage. Every single college kid goes out in a very different way to the previous one. And I love the creativity that we see with every single kill, accidental suicide. It's just so good.
Allison's still unconscious at this point. So
yeah.
Chad, they kidnap his dog.
Oh yeah.
Threaten his dog. Tucker sneaks around, releases the dog, but gets captured himself.
Yeah.
In the process. And he's hung up in a trap. They chop his fingers off, send them back to Dale.
They cut off his bowling fingers.
This is when Allison wakes up and this kind of goes outside like, what? Oh my god, what has gone on?
What is happening here? Yeah. Well, isn't there a moment as well where Tucker and Dale are like, we need to tell these kids that, like, we've got Allison, like, she's safe and sound. So then they're like, well, how do we do that? Like, we've got no paper. Like, I'll carve it into a tree.
We got your
friend. Really ominously just scraped into this log.
Dale goes and gets Tucker back, and obviously he's in a bit of a badge. He's covered in bee stings. He's covered in blood. He's lost his fingers.
He's not okay.
He's been hung upside down for a couple of hours.
Not a great vacation.
No, it's not a great vacation. Allison manages to negotiate a sit down between them, Dale and Chad at the table.
Yeah.
With one of the character who's been running around in heels for the entire thing.
That's Chloe.
That's cool. Respect to the actress there for that.
No, sorry, it's not Chloe. It's one of the other. It's one of the other teens. Chloe's still outside.
Yeah. With the last of the guys.
Yeah.
So they kind of talk through. We see Chad's backstory about how his mum was institutionalized and whatnot, and because of how his hate for hillbillies and Dale's like.
Well, to be fair, Dale says like, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but all due respect, that wasn't me.
I'm really sorry that your family got massacred. That is awful. Secondly, I didn't have anything to do with that.
He's like, I wasn't born yet.
I wasn't even born. Yeah, or like, yeah, exactly. And you can still see like the anger just seething in Chad. Like, it goes beyond that. He doesn't care. He's just got it out for hillbillies. But I do really, really like that scene.
Yeah.
It's really well played. I like how the psychology element comes back into it.
It's hard to tell if this would have went anywhere, but they're kind of interrupted before it has the chance to.
Yeah.
Like, the remaining survivors come in. One takes a weed whacker to the face.
One does, yeah.
Another one is set on fire, and another one's blown up in the cabin.
Yeah.
It's just carnage. Chad's now scarred.
Yes, if he didn't look evil before.
Last time he was just evil on the inside. Now he looks evil on the outside.
Yeah.
Now you can judge the book by the cover.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We'd like to shout out our groovy members. We appreciate everything you do for this channel and helping us grow. You guys are awesome.
They drive off, crash. Allison is captured.
By Chad.
Tucker is he's in no shape at this point.
No.
So this leads to like
Dale
a bit
has
of a
to save
showdown.
the
He's
day.
like, if you want to see a killer hillbilly, you'll get a killer hillbilly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really enjoy this whole back final sequence. What do you think of like the twist with Chad that's coming up?
I have mixed feelings on it because we're gonna spoil it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So it's revealed that Chad, when he was talking about that story about how his mom was tortured, it turns out his mom was raped, and Chad is the result of that encounter. So he realizes that biologically he is half hillbilly. Now, yeah, I understand why you're asking, because basically the whole movie is built on this premise of you can't judge a book by its cover. And with Tucker and Dale, obviously the movie is sending this message of not all hillbillies are bad people. You can't just, associate one demographic, one group of people and, with these aspersions. But then by revealing this twist in that, actually a hillbilly essayed Chad's mum, it's like, you are kind of reinforcing that stereotype a little bit as well. It's like you are kind of playing into it.
Wait! You're a hillbilly too! Shut up! No.
But I kind of I can forgive it, because ultimately I also think you can apply the same logic to the college kids. It's very easy to group them together and assume they're all fucking idiots. They're all just they're dumb. They're rude in like just casting all these aspersions onto Tucker and Dale without ever spending any real time to apply any logic to the situation. But then at the same time, you've also got Allison, who stands apart from that, and Allison is smart and she is kind and she is caring. So I think ultimately you can sort of apply it to both groups. It's like you get good and bad in both.
Yeah.
Ultimately. That was a very long way of saying, like, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I ultimately think it's not needed for similar reasons. Like we've had a whole film establishing not all hillbillies are bad, and it's like, actually, but some are.
Yeah.
And I suppose all it really does is back up why Chad hates them.
Yeah.
So obviously his dad was never found because his dad was
the
hillbilly. I don't know, it just felt like I thought it would have had more of an impact if without it.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
If it was just a needless hate towards this demographic.
Yeah, I get it, but I can forgive it as well, because ultimately I think the film is saying, like, not a group or a person isn't wholly good and wholly bad. It's like you get variances within a group, within a demographic.
Yeah. Would it not have been more interesting if the reveal was that they weren't hillbillies that attacked his parents?
Yeah, quite possibly. That also.
So maybe he's needlessly hated this entire demographic his entire life.
Yeah, without any justification.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
But ultimately, that's kind of my only flaw with this film. The rest of it, I think, is very fun. It's very well paced. The chemistry between Dale and Allison, I really like, and also Dale and Tucker is impeccable.
Yeah.
The college kids, they are kind of one note, but I think they're on purposely written that way.
Yeah.
Because they are, like I said earlier, they are essentially just their bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Something that dawned on me this viewing as well, that not really clocked before, is Tucker and Dale are basically like the American version of Shaun and Ed from Shaun of the Dead.
You can absolutely see the Shaun of the Dead influences in this film.
You can totally see, and it makes a lot more sense now that we know that Tucker and Dale was filmed in 2007, only 3 years after Shaun of the Dead. So it would have, Edgar Wright would have been a huge influence. And even in the editing, there's a lot of like Edgar Wright-isms, like the fast-paced, like the gearing up sequences. But yeah, in terms of their actual dynamic and their friendship, there's such a beautiful friendship that exists between Tucker and Dale. Like, throughout everything they go through over the course of this day, like, they never... I mean, even... They slightly bicker. They kind of come to blows sometimes, but never enough to,
ruin this friendship.
Ruin the friendship. And then they have this really lovely moment at the end where Tucker is saying, like, I only want the best for you. You are such a lovely guy. Like, you need to stand up for yourself. And then similarly, like, there are moments in Shaun of the Dead with Shaun and Ed where it's a bit more of like not a toxic friendship by any means, but like Ed is obviously dragging Shaun down.
Yeah.
And again, like they have that really lovely moment at the end where Ed kind of like sets Shaun free. He's like, leave me. It's okay. I mean, spoilers for Shaun of the Dead. But there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah.
Like this just really true friendship that can't ever really be broken. I did really, really like that.
I think a lot of the time, doing really good male friendships in films is kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's hard just to make them not look like just two guys that know each other. Trying to get like a true friendship across there on the screen. Very few directors and writers can do it well. Like obviously Shaun of the Dead is a prime example, and I think this is another one. Like, there's some... It's also that I would love to know how they got together. We don't need it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It just works.
It does work, and it makes total sense that Tyler and Alan were really good friends off like behind the scenes as well. I also wrote a comment that I forgot to mention earlier, but when the cabin is burnt and Chad sort of emerges from it, he basically turns into Two-Face. Because literally, like, one half of his face is just burnt to an absolute crisp.
I was also meant to represent the two halves of his personality.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
The cabin is very Evil Dead.
Oh, well, let's just quickly go through them, because I think it's probably obvious when you watch it, but obviously, the backdrop, West Virginia, wrong turn, hillbillies, maybe a little bit of Deliverance thrown in there for the hell of it, who knows. The cabin, Evil Dead. It literally looks...
like the cabin.
It is just the cabin. Texas Chainsaw with the dance that Alan does trying to get away from the bees, and also just generally Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
College kids going away for a weekend by a lake. I think especially the scene where they go skinny dipping and they have that like initial encounter.
Yeah.
That is very, very Friday. There's probably more that I missed, but those were the pretty obvious ones.
Now, the Blu-ray I got, a German one arrived, which was not what was advertised on Amazon. So that was interesting, having to translate the German menu so we could find to change it to English. Mm-hmm. But apparently on certain DVDs of it, there's an edit of the film from the college kid's point of view.
That would be so good.
Which I think would be really fun, and that is such a cool idea.
That is a very cool idea.
Again, like, stuff like that doesn't need to be included, considering it only had a limited release, but it shows there is a fan base there.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure I saw this on Netflix a couple of times. It's not hard to track down.
No.
I would, if there's any fans of Shaun of the Dead out there, I would highly recommend giving this a chance. Even if you're just fans of like, Alan Tudyk from Firefly or Dodgeball.
Yeah.
I think you could really get a good kick out of this, because I think it's one of his best performances.
Yeah.
It's a very physical performance.
The gore is fantastic.
Gore is really good. Really good practical effects.
Yeah, they didn't hold back at all. It's a great movie. I'm so happy we finally managed to do it, because we wanted to talk about this for a while.
We have, and I'm just glad I now own it so I can watch it as often as I want. So I feel it's another one, not quite every year, but every couple of years I'll give this one a watch.
We've had a doozy of a day.
We've had a doozy of a day. Thanks a lot, guys. We hope we've inspired at least one person to track this film down, because honestly, it is a lot of fun. It's meta, but not in the in-your-face meta sort of way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun watching this scenario play out, knowing what they're inspired by, but just seeing how both sides have got the wrong end of the stick.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't really think of another film like this one. It's
very good.
It really makes it stand out.
Exactly, and I do want to see that other version.
Yeah, okay. Oh, they were trying to get a sequel off the ground for years. I think in 2014, they were asked and said that they were working on a script, both Tyler and Alan were actively involved in it. Then I think as far as like 2017, Alan was asked, and they said it doesn't seem likely because the script that was made they weren't a fan of.
Oh, I see.
So I don't think it. I mean, it's been another many years since then.
It's been a lot of years.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen now, sadly. But also, it doesn't need.
Doesn't really need it. No, that's true.
The end joke of he gets his fingers back. I realize I've tried to end this video like twice now. You see him in the hospital bed. Dale brings him a beer with a little straw.
Yeah.
Because well, they are hillbillies. They do drink a lot.
Yes.
All throughout the film. Apparently, it's just something that Alan improvised when he pours the beer over his bee stings.
Yeah. Great.
So he brings him a beer and says, "Oh, they even reattached my fingers." Well, he got one of them, and another one's got a painted nail.
Yeah, it's like clearly a lady's finger.
Yeah.
Like God knows why that was in the woods.
And Dale gets his date. Him and Alison go bowling, and he gets her a little present. He gets her a helmet because she keeps getting knocked out.
Yeah. I have to say, this is just me, but I would, I'm crushing hard on both Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk.
Honestly, how long have I been telling you to watch Reaper?
I know.
It's only, it wasn't around for very long, but I honestly think you'd really like it. It's like, he was a bit younger. It was like 2006. Actually, not that much younger, probably around the same time. And he plays like the funny friend.
Oh, okay.
Role in it.
Yeah.
And it's a really good, it's got the guy you really like, he plays the devil in it. The Creeper's nemesis in Jeepers Creepers 2.
Ray Wise.
Ray Wise plays the devil.
Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, there's everything about this show that you would love. And you'll get to the end of it and you'll be like, the rest of the fan base, it's like, what? You can't end it here. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well.
Check out Tucker and Dale and check out Reaper.
And anything that Alan Tudyk's in.
And anything that Alan Tudyk's in. So, for the third time,
Bye.
thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next week.